Welcome to Tea and Shenanigans. We're officially back from our summer hiatus, I guess we're going to call it.
Summer, like vacation,
Holiday.
holiday,
Yeah.
holiday.
And
We were not like in a holiday or
no,
vacation.
I wish. No, it's just been so much going on. We kind of decided to take the summer off a little bit. But also, to be quite honest, there's been so much going on in the news, not only in our country, but the UK and elsewhere, that it's been kind of distracting. Like, I still keep up with all
Like
the royal news, but
non-royal news.
non-royal, but there's a lot
Yeah,
of big things. As you know, whoever's listening at the moment, American or otherwise, most people I think are
we
aware of the
had
fact that
like
we have
since we last episode, we had in July.
uh-huh.
What happened in July?
Well, I was getting to that. So
Yeah,
most people are aware that we have a presidential election coming up, and American politics, it's a blood sport. It's wild and crazy, and it literally became bloody last month because for the first time since what was it 1981? I forget the exact year with President Reagan. We had an assassination
81 or
attempt.
82, I think. I'll look it
Yeah,
up.
on former President Trump, and I got to tell you, that's just been why it was wild. I remember the day it happened, and now it's been about a month now.
Yeah, it was on March 30, 1981 for
Reagan,
Reagan.
yeah. So it's not unprecedented in our history, but it's just so crazy anytime it happens. And I don't care who it is or what party it is or whatever. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, that's ever since then, it's just like it's been one thing after another in the news cycle. So I've been kind of distracted with that stuff going on. And we've had Republican Party convention, Democrats just had theirs. There's been some primary voting in different states. We actually just voted a few days ago, not for president, but for other things. So it's just been, a lot going on in the midst of our usual craziness and work
The
and whatever.
current president dropped off the race.
And the face of the planet, like, is he alive? Is he not alive? I don't know.
That's no one knows.
Bless his heart. Anyways,
But
this is
was
not
he
a
at
political
the
show. It's just
DNC? I think
he was. He addressed.
So he's still alive.
I believe it was on the first night of the convention. I never watched that stuff live. I watch it afterwards and just like kind of pick and choose. But anyway, yeah. So technically, he did show up. But anyways, so that's
There's
going
some
on.
riots going on in the UK as well.
Yeah. Well, there was that horrific incident in is it Southport with those children that were
Portsmouth, I think.
I think it's
Yeah.
anyways, I apologize. I don't remember the exact. I think it was something called Southport. I'm not particularly familiar, but I remember seeing what happened. It was absolutely horrific. What happened with those children. But since then, there's been all kinds of unrest and upheaval and all kinds of stuff going on. So lots of things happening, not necessarily to do with any royals, but to get back on track, there are plenty of things that have gone on with royals, British and otherwise, this summer. So just kind of a quick recap. I'm going to go over the things that got my attention and I thought were interesting. We can talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
This is not a comprehensive episode. I think we're probably going to have to do more than one. But I'm going to start out with something that has nothing to do. Well, okay, I take that back. It's not that it doesn't have anything to do with the two losers, Harry and Meghan. But did you see the piece that was in the Royalist, which is a newsletter put out by the Daily Beast, all about the goings on with the British royal family? And
no.
it says that word is that Prince William does not want Prince Harry at his coronation.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, I do not find this hard to believe at all, given what Harold has done to his family, particularly his brother. He's thrown them all under the bus, and for what, I'm not entirely certain. But anyway, the Royalist, the Daily Beast claims that the relationship between, I'm quoting, the relationship between Prince William and Prince Harry is now so bad that William may not invite his brother to his coronation, according to a report that was published fairly recently. I think it was something in the Sunday Times. But anyway, I mean, does this surprise us at all? No. It would be, what's the word I'm looking for? It would be legendary if William really and truly would be like, no, you're not coming. Neither you nor your horrible wife. You're not coming back. And if that's the case, then there is no coming back for Harry, like, ever.
I mean, who do you think the root of all evil? Why did that happen between them? They were so close growing up.
Well, because Harry is not
And
particularly intelligent, in my opinion. He is not the sharpest knife in the drawer,
I mean,
and
a lot of
he
stuff led to that. Like
and he
him,
married a woman who is just
I don't know if they
evil.
approved it or not, but what happened from his side towards the royal family
Mhm.
and even going after his grandma, his dad,
Oh,
and
it's all
his brother,
terrible.
wife, and all of that led. So maybe that would happen. And
I don't know. I just think it's Harry deserves what he gets at this point. Like, and let's move on from that. I'm sure everyone has seen um that as I said, the two losers were recently in Colombia, the country of Colombia. Why we're not entirely certain, but it
is
was
it another tour? What is it this
it's another
time?
one of their fake
Fairy tale
royal
tour
tours.
tour?
Like, oh
What's
look,
going
we're
on?
royals, we're going on tour. Like, no, you're not.
Why they
Nobody
don't
cares.
tour with Taylor Swift?
Uh, she Taylor Swift wants nothing to do with him. What are you talking about?
I mean,
It seems I don't know that for a
why
fact,
they
but it
did
seems that
nothing?
way to me.
If their PR is listening, like, hey, try Taylor.
Well, I don't know. It's
Maybe
just
free flights for them, you
it's
know?
another one of these stupid things. Like, what do you have to do with anything anywhere? Like, why does anybody care about these people? And to that point,
You know, I thought I'm gonna see her at the DNC since she's jumping on bandwagon of
Megan.
everything. Yeah,
Oh, I'm sure
I thought
Megan would
she
have
would jump.
given her wig to be at the DNC. I guarantee you, nobody.
Wig. She has a wig.
My opinion, sometimes it looks like she's wearing something, but it doesn't matter. I don't care about that. But like,
Hmm.
uh, yeah, no, I think she would have loved to have done that. But the point is, nobody wants her anywhere, which leads me into the next point about this. Oh, there's I have a little screenshot from the Daily Mail. It's an article written on the 17th of August, so a few days ago when they were in Colombia, and the this is what it says: Harry and Meghan's quasi-royal Colombian tour includes 3,000 police, snipers, and a bio-terror van following the couple's every move despite barely anyone turning up to see them. And it's true. They had this massive security presence, and then there's videos and photos all over the place of them at these places speaking and whatever. And it's like it's
And
not
again, they cry
full. There
about their
aren't people
privacy.
clamoring to see them. They just in their own minds, they are so important and so famous and everyone loves them or whatever. And they go to this stuff. It's like Nigeria, same deal.
Mhm.
It's all fake. It's all fake. The
I
whole
said
thing.
it day one. She's looking for attention. There's a different
Oh,
word to describe that. I'm not gonna say it, but she's
that is
just
her life's
definitely
blood. I know. I know.
looking for attention. All of that, even like people do not care at this moment. They just trying to get anyone's attention in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do you need a sniper with you?
Again, because they think they're so. No one cares about you. No one is looking
Only
to come.
if a hooligan who does not like the royal family gonna travel all the way
Yeah, sure, whatever. They're not
to
that.
go after Meghan.
They're just not that important. I'm sorry. They want to be so bad. They so badly want to be so important, but they're not. There's another article about the trip because there was some discussion as to who paid for all of this. Because, of course, everywhere they go, it costs millions of dollars because of her ridiculous wardrobe and the multiple wardrobe
Taxpayers
changes
from both
and the private
sides.
jets and the yachty and the staff and all the crap that whatever.
Taxpayers.
Anyway, so the okay,
Whatever,
who's reporting?
probably.
GB News. I think this is GB News is reporting that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's Colombia trip funding revealed by officials amid 1.5 million pound security accusation. And I'll spare you going through all of this, but essentially what they report is that after being accused of having all of their nonsense funded by the Colombian taxpayer, and let's not forget that this is not exactly a wealthy country. There's a lot of poverty in Colombia. There's a lot of problems that they're dealing with down there. And I don't see why in the world they would need to foot the bill for these entitled losers. But whatever. My point is, in the article, they say that it's been said that the vice president of Colombia, who she's the one that got them to come over there for reasons unknown, they say that the engagements were co-financed, and the Colombian Ministry of Equality and Equity, whatever that is, also stated that the Sussexes covered their own travel expenses. So
Because I
they're
don't think
saying
Colombia has extra money. to pay for that.
I don't know their financial situation, but I'm fairly familiar with the fact that, they have a lot of things going on. I know they have a
Mhm.
high percentage of poverty, which tells you that no, they shouldn't be wasting money on these people. But if Harry and Meghan are coming out and saying that they spent their own money to do this, think about how funny that is. Like you are paying your own way to go to some country that you have nothing to do with, to, I don't know, give word salad speeches, to pretend to be like important or whatever. Like if you were really important,
She's looking for attention,
I
and she thinks
know.
the media is gonna follow her. How the media like followed Princess Diana
Well, oh, I
whenever
know.
she did.
In her
So she
mind, she is
thinks
the
that's what
second
she's
coming.
what
Yeah.
she's doing is
Oh,
maybe
yes.
even better with the social media, age now what we
I don't
have.
know.
She's gonna be like all over the news or paparazzis everywhere. Even the paparazzis that taking pictures of them, she paid them.
Yeah, it's called Backgrid. It's so, this woman has, they just, well, just not just her, they have no shame, no self-awareness. I mean, to live in such a bubble, to not know that you are the butt of every joke, people are making fun of you for doing this stuff, and they continue to do it. Like, I'm reading and hearing that supposedly they're going to be going on another royal tour, quote unquote, to India. Why? Like, why? I mean,
I don't, because I know India. They till this moment they have a good kind of relationship with the royal family, with the past queen.
yeah, but
I
that's the
mean,
case. Why would they want these two? They're not part of the royal family anymore. They represent no one but themselves. And they're not exactly drawing huge crowds. I repeat myself. Have you seen the videos and the photos of the events in Colombia and the events in Nigeria?
I've seen Nigeria, but Colombia, no.
It's not impressive at all. At all. So I don't know what else is going on
I
behind the
saw a
scenes, but
picture, and everyone's talking about it on Twitter that when in Colombia, that he put his hand by mistake behind with the behind the translator or something.
oh yeah, that video. That's interesting.
Yeah, like he put his
Okay,
left
so
arm or something.
there is a video clip going around. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube or whatever. It's Meghan, Harry is next to her, and then Harry's sitting. Harry's in the middle of Meghan and this other lady who, I'm not clear if she's a translator. Some people were claiming she was something else. Anyway, this lady, I don't know her name. I apologize. She's sitting there very professionally, not, hands in her lap, just sitting there, whatever it is they're waiting on or whatever is going on. And Harry is sitting there with his arm not around the lady, but like kind of on the back of the chair.
Yeah, something like that.
And he's kind of leaning into her. It's really weird because then you have Meghan on his other side. And if you didn't know better, if you just looked at the picture and said, okay, who here is married or who here is together or whatever, you would never say it was Harry and Meghan because of the way that he's just like leaning away from Meghan towards this. And I'm not saying anything was going on. It's just a really weird picture.
Yeah.
Really strange. And yeah, so whatever. I mean, at this point, we all know that probably more than likely their relationship is not what they present it to be. There's a lot of people that speculate that they not only probably have separate bedrooms, they could be living in separate places. Like it's typical rich people nonsense. Like that's what's going on. But anyway, they, we're supposed to still pretend like it's this great love story and they're so in love.
Yeah. In another news, Queen Camilla is in New York.
No.
Just now, like 49 minutes ago, showed me. It's a video of her in New York.
Oh, that's cool.
This is the video.
Well, let's see here.
It's on a fan page. It's called
No. In York. That's in England.
York. I thought.
I was gonna say if it was in New York, I feel like I would have heard about that.
Yeah. Okay. My apologies.
No problem. Oh, but did you know what else? What happened a few days before Harry and Meghan went to Colombia? And I think this is brilliant on this dude's part. They're chief of staff, which why they need a chief of staff, I don't know. They're not, political figures. They're not representatives of anything, but they have these official offices, supposedly, whatever. Anyway, I think he worked for them for 3 months, maybe. And I'm talking like maybe a week before this tour was supposed to take place, he just cuts and runs. Like he quits, he's out of there. And there was a lot of chatter going around about that.
Didn't I 5 minutes ago said she's trying to be Princess Diana?
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Was the Daily Mail posted yesterday how she's trying
Oh, that's
to
a drop in the bucket. There are dozens of pictures of her
like
cosplaying
a picture of
Diana.
Princess Diana wearing a white button-up shirt with the jeans. Same thing with the with the sunglasses
I
as
know.
well.
I know. It's so creepy. She's been doing that for
I
years.
mean,
She did it before she was
if
with
she did
Harry.
not ride the bandwagon of her being black and stuff, she might dye her hair too to be blonde.
Oh my gosh.
But she can do that now because she's trying to, stay like within that she's black
Yeah.
or
Or whatever.
what they
I
call
don't even
true
care.
to her culture.
Well, I
I
find
think
that funny because if she were true to her culture, she
with her
wouldn't be
dad.
like straightening her hair and getting nose jobs and erasing every semblance of non-whiteness or whatever it is. I don't know what the politically correct term is, but like if she was so proud of her
So again,
heritage,
I don't know how
give me a
right is
break.
this, but you said they are doing another tour, right?
Yeah, supposedly.
This page says they are announcing a tour to Afghanistan to celebrate women's rights. Someone said, "You're joking, right?" And they said, "No."
No
Someone said,
way.
"Seriously?" They're like, "No, I don't know. I think it should be a joke.
Oh,
No way."
that's funny. She's
I
gonna
think
go
it's a
to
joke.
Afghanistan. Well,
I
he's
think
gonna go
it's a
back to
joke.
Afghanistan after all his
I think
talk.
it's a joke.
It's got to be a talk. No, I heard it's India. I'm not sure,
Mm.
but I'm sure info to come, and we can laugh about that later. Anyways, okay. So
Yeah.
do we can transition into more nice things, positive things.
Yeah, and
For
another news
example,
this month,
hmm,
the royal family of Jordan, they got their first granddaughter, the king and the
that's
queen.
right. The crown prince and
Tr-
his lovely new wife. I forget her first name.
the new kid, her name is Iman bint al Hussein.
Uh-huh.
Iman means faith in Arabic. She's the first royal princess, I think, to their first granddaughter.
Yeah,
now.
it's got to be.
Yeah.
I gotta say, they're quick movers. I mean, I feel like they just got married. Was that last year or 2 years ago?
I think last year.
Wow, yeah, that was quick. So good
Yeah.
for them. Yeah, I saw the photos. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And then also with the Brits, we had the Princess of Wales turning up at Wimbledon, which was wonderful to see her. I saw the videos of her entering to a standing ovation. Everyone was just thrilled because she hasn't been out much, which is understandable. And then I have heard some interesting reports that I find somewhat troubling, and it could just be people stirring the pot and trying to get views and whatever. And maybe I fell into that trap, but there are people saying that it's possible that she will never, and never is a big word, but she will not return to duties as before, like before her diagnosis. Like she's never going to go back to doing exactly what she was doing before, which that's a little, it may just be hyperbole on the part of these people, but I don't know. A part of me thinks, oh, that's kind of sad. And the other part of me thinks, well, good for her. Maybe she can, because she doesn't have to do, in my view, she has such a great impact when she does anything that maybe her motto needs to be, I don't know, less is more or something. She doesn't have to be everywhere all the time to have a great impact and to do her work. So I mean, we'll see what happens. She looked great. I mean, thank goodness whatever treatment she's taking doesn't seem to be affecting her looks at all. Not that that would matter, but she just she turned up looking lovely. And I think I heard that she's going to be spending the rest of the summer at Balmoral, which I'm jealous because it looks gorgeous and wonderful. And then after that, I don't know, I think maybe there was some event that she's slated to attend. I can't remember what it is, but there's a lot of rumors and gossip around that, so who knows what's true.
What other news did we miss this summer?
Okay, royal or non-royal?
Royal, non-royal, something like made history this summer.
Well, we already talked about the Trump thing and everything going on in our presidential election, which is like a circus, a sideshow right now.
Yeah.
it's a clown show. That's what it is. But I don't know. You gotta give me a hint.
A hint. I don't know if it's a hint or something related to our podcast, but this summer the first R-rated movie made it. It was Deadpool and Wolverine It's a number one highest grossing R-rated movie of all time.
Okay, that's a historical event to you.
Yeah, it's over
Oh my
made it over
gosh.
$1 billion in the box office.
Well, good for them, I guess. I
Uh,
haven't seen it. For me, all that
You're
stuff
not
is
interested in it, but
it's
yeah, I
overkill. How many
mean,
more movies like that are they gonna make? Come on.
yeah, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of movies in this movie because especially with what's going on with Disney and all the movies are
Yeah.
failing. This movie made 1.86 billion dollars.
Huh? Wow. Go figure. I don't
Yeah.
know if that just says that our standards have fallen so far, or I don't know, but hey, good for them.
Mhm.
Well, there's never anything decent to go see. Like, there's never any movies you're like, ooh, I want to go see that. They come and they go and
There's
whatever.
yeah, like I was thinking Twisters is gonna be good, but
Eh.
it's now going to DVD after a month.
DVD. You mean
DVD
streaming?
streaming. No, they said DVD and Blu-ray. They still doing that. Oh
Really?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was a
If
thing
you go to
anymore.
any like Best Buy or
Oh, I must not be.
Target or Walmart, they still sell DVDs
I don't
and
remember the last time
Blu-rays.
I watched something on a
Yeah,
DVD. Good
but like
lord.
it's going
Might as
out.
well be a VHS
It's
tape.
gonna go out on digital
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
so you can buy it on digital, which is after a month.
I'm trying to think the
I think
last.
Reagan is coming out end of this
See,
month.
I'm interested in that because I love my favorite films are biographical, historical, political in nature, and I don't know. I enjoy things like that. So we'll see how. It's Dennis Quaid, and he's a
Yeah,
fabulous actor. So, in my view, so I
yeah.
think
I
it's
just
in.
I just watched his. It's not new. It came out last year, but they just been added to Netflix. It's called The Long Game. It's a good movie. He's like
I've heard
uh,
of that.
a veteran coming back and start coaching golf. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
my
good
dad might
movie.
like that golf.
Yeah,
He loves
I
it.
told him, but I don't know.
He's also not a movie. He'll fall asleep in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like,
What else? Like, there's not that much good movies or anything
no, I was
going
gonna say the
on.
last good film that I saw, actually I saw more than once in theaters, was the new Top Gun.
Maverick, yeah, that
I
was a good
love that
movie.
movie. I mean, I love the original. But aside from that, I can't even
I
think
mean,
of another
we
movie.
can't even go to the movie theater now. We need a babysitter in order to
Yeah,
go.
I don't have the energy.
Yeah, they made a movie that I think failed badly. It's about the moon landing, kind of to show the moon landing
Oh, like it was faked, and
fake and stuff.
yeah.
I didn't see it, but
Who was in it? Like Matt Damon or
no, no, no,
no?
no, no. What's his name?
Channing
Channing
Tatum. I don't know
Tatum,
why I was
and
thinking that.
Scarlett
Yeah,
Johansson.
yeah.
There's a movie called "It's End with Us." I think they talk good about it.
Blake Lively
Yeah.
and that guy from oh, what's his name? Baldoni something.
Mm,
Justin, is that right? He's from that show Jane the Virgin.
I never watched that show.
It's kind of funny. Anyway, whatever.
I know you don't like horror movies, but Aliens is a good one.
I hate horror
Everyone
movies.
liked it.
I
It's a
really
kind
do.
of a remake to the original one, but they said it's a good remake now.
Like I have enough going on in my real life.
Yeah, but I like the marketing for it, like in New York City and the buses and stuff, because it's like it just shows the aliens or people like with the alien on their face. It's like a mask they're wearing, but it looks like as an alien. People getting scared. It was just part of the marketing.
Oh, people are so
Yeah.
crazy. Well, yeah. So I'm trying to think of more royal stuff because that's really what we talk about here. We've gotten
Last time I saw the prince, he was in
which prince?
William.
Uh-huh.
He was in Wembley Stadium. It was something called the FA Cup.
Mm-hmm.
That was in May.
That's right. That's right.
And then they played the Community Shield, the winner of the league and the winner of the FA Cup. They played, it's a kind of charity thing. The money goes to charities and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last time I've seen him.
Well, I'm sure he's around doing his thing. I feel like my newsfeed is
I
so
know the king I
cluttered with
saw on
Harry
the
and
news
Meghan.
the other day, like 2 days ago or something. He went to Southport, what we mentioned
Yeah.
earlier in the episode.
That's just so tragic and awful. I mean, I don't have anything that has to do with children. I can't hardly read about or talk about. It's too much.
Mm-hmm.
But so that the drama with Prince Andrew, ugh, is still going on because you know how they're trying, supposedly King Charles is trying to get him to move out of Royal Lodge and all that
Uh-huh.
because he can't afford to, that is Andrew can't afford to keep it up, take care of it and whatever. It's back in the news. I guess they're still trying to get him out of there. The Sun was reporting that Prince Andrew is under renewed pressure to quit his palatial home after Charles said he will lay off its 10 strong security team.
Mm.
Yeah. And supposedly Andrew's just refusing, which I don't know. It's probably in his mind like all he has left or something. But yeah. I heard that they were trying to get him to move to what's it called? Frogmore Cottage, which famously was not good enough for the B-list actress when they were part of the royal family.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see if it happens. But yeah.
Mhm.
That's pretty much what I know. I know there's a lot more. We could talk about the Colombia trip all day. I mean, the stuff I could get into the pet. We could get real petty with it, but I think I'm just gonna
Yeah.
leave it alone for now.
Another thing happened this summer was the Olympics.
Woohoo.
We're not going to talk about the ceremonies, but I know the U.S. team, the basketball team, won the gold medals.
Mm-hmm.
The women's soccer team won the gold medal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think swimming team too, they won.
Maybe. I
didn't watch it this summer. I was busy.
Never cared about the Olympics. I can't remember. Like my dad, I remember my dad always, he'll watch it here and there, but like I've just never, I don't know. I've never cared about it. Okay, except the Winter Olympics. This might sound corny. I enjoy watching the figure skating. To me, that is so amazing and impressive the way they do that. But that's it. That's all I've ever watched.
My take on the Olympics, like especially all those athletes and big names, and they like, they spend a lot on themselves regarding like training, food, someone watching everything they eat and drink, their sleeping hours, and then they go. Did you see the beds in the city?
You know why they do that.
I know why they do that, but did you see how bad those beds? So the U.S. team,
cardboard beds, no air conditioning, even though it was the middle of summer and hot. And I read that they were in the
showers are leaking.
Well, in the village, they were only serving plant-based food. So all these athletes are you kidding me?
Yeah. So I heard the U.S. basketball team with their families, they went and booked a hotel just for them. The whole hotel, and stayed in it.
Heck, yeah. That's just ridiculous. All that. And it was all this like, conservation, green crap. Give me a break. Give me a break.
Yeah.
There are things that you could do to truly improve the environment, and that type of stuff that they do for publicity and look at us, look how green we are. It just infuriates me. It's like you're inconveniencing people and making things unpleasant, and you're not even moving the dial even a little bit.
So the next Olympics is going to be in the US.
Whoop-de-doo. LA.
Because Tom Cruise, he did the stunt when he jumped to take the Olympics. Flame all the way to the U.S.
That's going to be interesting to watch because Los Angeles is a hot mess. First of all, their traffic and the people everywhere. It's just the logistics. I don't know how they're going to work that out. And then however many people descend on a city for the Olympics, that's going to be
interesting. I don't know how they.
I wouldn't be anywhere near that.
The the soccer World Cup in 2 years here. It's because this year they tried it what they called the Copa America, which is the North and South America.
Wait, where's the World Cup supposed to be in 2 years?
In the U.S., Canada, and Mexico.
Yeah, but what city?
It's going to be in Dallas. It's going to be in New York or New Jersey. I think one of the games is going to be on Ohio and California. It's like all over.
Yeah.
But
you mean the qualifiers?
No. The tournament is going to be played in the U.S.
Well, where's the final game going to be played?
I don't know yet where.
Okay.
But it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Because they just had what's called Copa America, North and South America, and they could not control the people. Like in Miami, the final game.
Oh, Miami. Oh,
they broke in the security. They jumped off the fences. People who bought the tickets, they couldn't get in, while people without tickets Kind of reminds you of the border issues we have, but that's what
Uh,
happened, and
well,
it got lost. They had to stop the game multiple times because people running into the pitch,
I
and
mean, I like Miami. It's fun. It's like, and we live in Florida. I love Florida. It's home, whatever. I don't live in Miami, but it could be its own country. Like it is so from where we are, and if you go down there, it's just like you're in another world entirely. So,
whatever you think of, you can find in Miami.
which is cool. Their traffic is like,
Gators, dolphins,
I
crazy
mean, I
people.
couldn't survive living in that environment. I don't think that just
I mean, it's a
the
Florida in
crowds and the
general.
traffic and the oh my gosh. You remember we went down there back in February when your
Yeah,
family came down? And like it took us an hour to go. I'm not exaggerating. It took us an hour to go like 6 miles or something.
yeah, it was crazy
Which I know
traffic.
that that's true in a lot of big cities and whatever, but I'm not used to that anymore. I used to live in big cities and whatever. I don't know how I got on that, but yeah, Miami, it's crazy down there. Like it's gonna
Hmm.
get crazy. So you got to choose your cities carefully because the difference between say Miami and yeah Dallas, very different,
Hmm.
very very different. Or the difference between say New York and wherever in Ohio. It's like different. It's different countries essentially. All these states.
Yeah,
For those of you that are not Americans that have whatever you're not familiar with it, every state is like its own country. It's very,
it
very
is. It's
different.
like, yeah, different.
People, culture,
Everything,
expectations,
food.
whatever. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that'll be interesting. They go from one place to the
Hmm.
next.
What did we watch this summer, TV shows wise? Like we kind of start watching. I know last thing
I
we
don't want to
watched,
admit to it.
uh, Tesla Kings or Kings of Tesla, the
No, no,
Sylvester
Tulsa King.
Tulsa Kings.
Oklahoma,
Oh, it was fun. I mean,
which is a very interesting, unique place, I tell you.
yeah, it's a kind of brings that kind of 80s vibes with that mobs, Italian mobs and stuff. Sylvester
Yeah.
Stallone. I think he
Stallone
did good.
is doing yeah,
I
he
think he
does
did
good.
good in this show. It's kind of funny to see him after all these years. He's still kind of healthy, big
Yeah,
guy,
yeah. I mean,
and throwing punches. 75 years old. He's playing a character
yeah, yeah, yeah.
75 years old in the show,
It's
and
interesting. Yeah, it's
kind
a
of
unique concept.
if you think about that show, whoever saw it, I think it's kind of like hitting on some actual stuff happening. Like, who thinks like the mobs are still operating now?
They do.
Or yeah, they still do. Or what's going on?
I don't know
Like,
about in Oklahoma, but
that's why they chose
yeah,
Oklahoma, and
yeah, yeah.
because
You
who's
go
that
to New
mobs?
York, like
Yeah,
yeah, sure,
that's why they're moving from New York, and they sent him to
or
over there.
Miami, or yeah,
Miami, yeah, there's still a lot
yeah.
going on. We know that.
It's not the same as it was back in the day,
Hmm.
but they're around.
You didn't watch House of the Dragons. It wasn't that good
I'm
this
not a Game
season.
of Thrones
Yeah,
person. I
this
just
season was not good. The second one, everyone had high hopes from the first two episodes, but no, it was just
I
one.
lose interest.
Yeah, it was only one good episode for me. This season was good.
I watched a show on Apple TV called oh gosh, what was it called? The Palm Royale
Palm Royale, yeah.
with Kristen Wiig.
Mm,
It's set back in the 60s,
60s, 70s, I think.
well, late
Yeah.
60s. And the story itself is like it's okay. Like it's an interesting combination of comedy and drama and a little bit of suspense kind of to it. It's there's some storylines that I just kind of roll my eyes, but what I like about it is the aesthetic, like the costumes and the whatever. Whoever did that, they should get an award for it. Like Kristen Wiig, the way they have her dressed up
Hmm.
and just the attention to detail. I like that time period style wise, so I like to watch anything generally that's set in that time
Hmm.
period, but not everybody does costuming well, and whoever did this knocked it out of the park, let's say. So that's
Yeah.
fun. It's a fun show. It's not like the greatest thing ever, but you just want
Uh,
something fun to watch.
right. Yeah. That one. What else we watched? I don't think because I started watching Dexter again.
Nah, I don't like that show.
Oh, I love it.
I really don't.
They're doing a new season, and they're doing a prequel to the original Dexter show
I
too.
know. They just won't let it go.
Yeah.
Won't let it rest
They
in
should
peace.
just let it go.
Well, and you know me, I watched the I shouldn't admit. I don't know why I'm admitting to this, but those crazy TLC shows like
Oh, yeah.
the 90 Day Fiance stuff.
That's
Ever since
happened
the
since COVID.
COVID 2020
We didn't have
thing,
anything to watch. It
started
was either
watching
that
that, and now
or
there's like 6 or 7 or more different shows, and I'm keeping up with all of them, and I sit there sometimes and think, "Why am I watching this? Like,
I
this is
mean,
so
yeah.
bad." But, you get into it, I don't know why.
And what was that other crazy show? It got so famous when COVID happened.
Tiger King.
Tiger
And
King.
now nobody you probably mentioned that now people be like, "What?"
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a time everyone talking about it. And
Well,
I see,
2020 was a
yeah, and
weird
I've been
year.
noticing the past 2 days, all my YouTube search and my YouTube home changed to be like traveling and food.
Uh-huh.
I know what you've been watching.
Well, yeah, last night it was on because I had I think I was playing music for little one,
Hmm.
for Mimi, and I saw
Who
one of
just turned
those.
now 1 year old?
Well, she's 14 months
14
now.
months. Yeah, but this is one of the stuff in summer that happens.
That's
We
true.
didn't.
That's true. We had the first birthday party. But yeah, I was on there and I was going to turn it off, and then I saw a video and it was like it was one of those guys that travels around and
Hmm.
does food and whatever in Mosul, which is Iraq, and then Fallujah. And I was
Hmm.
like, I just went from one to the
Hmm.
next to the next, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that I'd necessarily go to some of those places, but man, would I eat their food, you
Oh,
know?
yeah. The
My
food is
gosh.
good.
The
I saw
one in Beirut, it
yeah.
was killing me. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
the food over there is good. I watched the one in Syria with
That looks
Damascus with
awesome.
Levi.
And the one when he goes to Aleppo, we should probably give the name of the
Aleppo.
person. I can't remember what it is. There's 2 different channels I was
Wayne,
watching.
something Wayne's.
There's 2 different guys.
Yeah. There's the one who went to Aleppo. I think he's like an actual food. He said all his job is all he does is eat food.
Well,
Or something.
he I just know he wears that shirt that says I travel for
For food,
or
something like that.
that.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
But the other one, I think he's like kind of new, trying to do it. But it was good. I
I
would
liked his
not go to a
stuff.
country I don't speak their language, and he was going there
I know.
into neighborhoods that where I'm from, I would not go there.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just going, and it was.
There was a video that popped up of a woman who went to Mosul. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but that should be interesting.
That's his name, Mark Waynes.
Mark, yeah, Wiens.
Oh, that's in Turkey.
Yeah, I like his channel. And then the other guy, is that the other guy right there?
Doug
Bernard.
Yeah,
I think that's
see,
him.
there's a lot. Like, look at this one.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that one I've seen him long time ago.
Wait, okay, so maybe there's
This-
3 different guys because
There's multiple. Look at this. This is another one.
uh-huh.
As
We're going off the rails right now.
there's another one called, where's that? Uzi Walker. No, that's different.
I would be a travel vlogger so quick. Like, just hit me up. Like,
Oh, look at that shish shawarma. Look how big it is.
Oh, killer. That's some of the best food of all time.
Yeah. So if you want to go like try food and travel to a country to try their food, what's gonna be on your list?
Lebanon, first of all, because
Mhm.
that's my family heritage. I grew up with Lebanese-ish. I mean, it's been kind of Americanized, but I know it can be even better. So that's number 1.
Okay.
Secondly, since you and I have gotten together, definitely Iraq, because I think you guys make better bread than we do. I'm sorry to my grandmother. I'm so sorry. My,
Better
all
shish
that.
kebab too.
But yeah, so those, and then I would love to go to Syria. I don't know that that's the best idea for me, but I know they make killer food too.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Syria, they're well known for their shawarma and
Yeah.
kibbis.
yeah,
Who
I
listening and does not know what shawarma and kibbi is? It's like
look it up. Just look it up, please.
look it
Go
up,
to
yeah. It's
YouTube,
hard to
please.
do.
Just put like Syria shawarma, whatever.
I
or
know
Lebanon.
shawarma got famous in the U.S. because of the Avengers movie.
But it's not
at that
all
time.
equal. It's
No,
not
it's
all
different
the
now.
same.
Here in the U.S., it tastes different because of the type of the meat.
Mhm.
People are kind
Quality.
of. I thought people would be more adventurous to try new food and new like
Well, they are in big cities.
big
but,
cities,
like,
but
you know.
still, like in big cities, you see restaurants there's no one in there. So when the meat stays for overnight, the restaurants owners or the chef they will just add spices over.
Oh, don't
so
slander anyone.
I'm not. This is the truth. You know?
Uh-huh.
So that will lose kind of the actual taste and
Yeah.
the textures on the food. It will
It
just
gets old. You mean?
old. Yeah, it's different than like an leftover food or overnight you keep it in the fridge. some of the food will be better the next day you eat
So
it.
you
But
want me to give you like I can give you a top 10 food, or is that 10 too
let's
many?
let's go 5.
5. Number 1, Lebanon.
Mhm.
Number 2, probably Iraq. Yeah. Number 3, I'm gonna have to say Turkey actually.
Turkey's great.
Then, gosh, see,
But
it's all gonna end up
again,
being Middle Eastern.
here's the thing: you're choosing all those countries a similar food,
But it's not all the same.
not the same, but it's exact the same food. Like it just a little bit taste differently. Maybe
Hmm.
it's not like you're going from because mostly it's grilled food over there.
I love that.
Yeah, everyone loves grilled food, but it's different. It's like in a way how
Okay,
to
okay, okay.
describe it.
I'm
I
with
don't
you.
know. For me, it tastes kind of the same. I guess sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, I get where you're going. Okay, so okay, no offense to you.
No.
Lebanon, Turkey, probably Italy. I love Italian food. I'm
Mhm.
not a huge. It's. I know this is gonna sound crazy. I'm not the biggest fan of pasta. I like all the other Italian food.
Mm-hmm.
All like whatever. That probably Italy, and then what's that? 3, 4. I know this sounds really strange, but I had a chance to try some of it in college when I did this summer program. Russia. Russian food is
Russia.
interesting. I don't hate it. I actually really enjoyed it.
What type of food they do make? Like, is it
I mean, I had I didn't get a chance to try a lot of different things.
fried,
No,
grilled?
no. I mean, like I
I
had
never
something
thought of.
called borscht.
Mm-hmm.
I had some baked like bread type of thing. They do. Oh, what was some of the other stuff I had? It's been so long ago now. I just remember thinking, "Wow, I like this. Like this is good." So, and it's totally different from the Middle Eastern
Uh
thing.
huh. Oh yeah.
And then what's my last one? I have one more. Let me think about it.
Well, you think I'm gonna look up Russians food?
Let me think. See, it's all Middle Eastern. I guess my 5th one, I'm gonna go ahead and say I'll say Iraq since I dropped it, but I don't see any reason to.
So, but I know you like kind of sushi and
I do. I like
seafood.
sushi, but East Asian food doesn't interest me as much. I mean, like I like food. I would not turn it down. I'd try whatever. But, if I had to prioritize, and I love Mexican food, but I've grown up with Mexican food. I've been to Mexico. I know like that's not to me that's not foreign. That's very normal. So I wouldn't put that on the list cuz I feel like I've already been there, done that.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
Same thing like German
So,
food is
see,
interesting. I've done that.
yeah.
UK, whatever.
So all the like
I like a
now
lot of
we're
British food.
looking at a video and it's kind of like looks like mostly in a soup in a way their food
They have soups. They have
or has like kind of gravy, a lot of it on it, like you saw.
like I say, I've had just a limited exposure to it, but
Mhm.
it was enough to where I've always been interested in Russian history. I wanted to do study abroad. It didn't work out. I did like a summer language program, which it was wild. But their traditions, just kind of their way of their very traditional culture is interesting to
Mhm.
me because, in the US is very different.
Oh yeah,
I like the way they do things. I mean, they have some political issues, as we all know, major, but who doesn't these days, to be honest? So yeah, I just find their culture
yeah,
really, their architecture.
uh-huh.
I mean, because
I mean,
and with the whole royal thing, like they're what they used to have with the czars and all that. That history is fascinating. I don't know how they feel about it, but part of me kind of wishes they'd go back to it. Just go back to to a czarist Russia. It might be good for you. I don't know. I don't know
what
how they feel
about
about
like
that.
France? What do you think about their food?
French food. I like the rustic kind of, I don't know how to put this, normal people food. The fancy, flusy Parisian thing, like, it's not that I wouldn't try it and try to appreciate it, but it's not something that I'm just like, oh, it's amazing and whatever.
Hmm.
Like, I know that sounds crazy, but like, I must be a basic person. I would rather have the shawarma and, like street food in Beirut probably than some Michelin star restaurant in Paris. That's just not, it's not my thing. I can appreciate it for what it is, but it's not something that is on like my bucket list. And if I never get to try it, I just, I'll be so
Okay.
disappointed. I'm
Indi-
not a fancy person.
What about Indian food?
I like some Indian food. They're like the basic stuff. Like what is it, tikka masala or butter chicken or that type. I like that.
So
Yeah, it's
tikka
very good.
masala is like chicken, but on
Mm.
like they grill it as
I
well,
like some
but
of their
it's spicy.
curries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Indian food. And
Hmm.
but with that, there's a huge variety. Are you talking about North Indian, Southern Indian? Like there's a big difference.
I don't know. For me, it's like kind of
I
the
like
same
how
because I
spicy a lot
can't
of it is.
have spicy
See,
food.
I love like those. Remember when we went to that Arab market when we lived in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and we were looking for the samosas,
Some of
but
they
we ended
have.
up accidentally buying the Indian ones. They
Mm-hmm.
were super spicy. I loved it. You couldn't
I
eat it.
couldn't. Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
have
those are
spicy
good.
food. Yeah, one of the countries I want to try since I love steaks. Now Australia.
How about Argentina?
I was coming to that. Argentina is different story,
Uh,
but Australia is. I saw Joe Rogan with what's his name? Russell Crowe, the actor.
mm-hmm.
He just hosted him, and he's talking about his kind of like ranch over there and how he started growing like cattle and the way they feed those animals.
Mm-hmm.
Then what's going on here? He's been here. He said first time he came to the U.S. it was 1992,
Oh wow.
and he was like, I had a steak and tastes nothing like the steaks we have.
Mm-hmm.
And then how he started explaining how he started learning about the steaks and how the cows been fed or the buffaloes, whatever they have over there.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it's totally different game changer, like with the meat.
Well, I could go off on a rant about how our food
Hmm.
supply is just horrific and the
He
food
was like
quality is
even the
terrible.
way here he said I've seen it here because he was like doing his research how they treat the cows when they chase them with cars. I mean, which is
Hmm?
like they chase the cows to get them out or go back into their wherever
They wrangle them.
yeah. He was like, just look at the countries who still doing the old how you can like an old school way with the dog or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Like go to Ireland, go to Europe, they still do that mostly, but here they just chase them with trucks and stuff.
In the US,
He
we
was
have
like,
what we call
yeah,
factory farms, and it is
he was like
terrible.
that. It was like probably people will laugh like how that's gonna affect those animals. It was like it's sad, like we were talking about their feelings, but then we eat them. But he was like, it will feel different.
Well, and it's what they feed them, it's what they, inject them
Mhm.
with. And it's
And he
awful.
said the best way to make the steaks, how they make them, or like using fuel, like gasoline,
Uh-huh.
and put olive oil and just do the steak. And he was like, all I use is black pepper and some brand from Australia.
Mm,
It's a lemon salt.
interesting.
He was like, and garlic. I think that's it. He was like, that's what I use. No butter, nothing, because the meat kind of juicy. He was like, it was
Oh,
so good.
wow.
This is
I'm
what
hungry
he
now.
eats. He was like, and now wherever I go after I learned about that, I judge the steak really hard.
I bet. Well,
Argentina
now that you
is
said
Mm.
steak, I'm thinking Argentina or
Argentina,
Brazil.
Brazil. Like Brazilian steakhouse in the US are good, but Argentina, I've seen documentaries. I've seen people traveling there. The
Mhm.
way they like grill, oh my god,
Yeah. Oh, I know.
that's amazing.
Oh, Brazilian. So we need to go back to that one in Orlando.
Mm.
Brazilian steakhouse. Not the chain one. The other one.
Yeah. The other one was called
I can't
Cafe Monroe, I think. Monroe,
Oh,
something like that.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
It's on
I don't know if it's
iDrive.
still even open.
I looked it up fairly recently. It was still there. I wanted to see the price changes
Mhm.
between 2018 and now.
Turkey is one of the countries I would love to visit again and try their
Oh,
food.
man.
It's so good.
There are a couple of dishes that I love from there, but I've never
Mhm.
actually been to Turkey. But Turkish restaurants,
Yeah, it's different.
I'm
Over
sure.
there, it's way
I'm
much
sure.
better. Um, Italian food, I'd love to visit Italy, but the food, I don't like cheese much. Like
Well,
I
that's what
even
I'm saying. The type of food that most people in the US think is like Olive Garden. No.
no, not
No, no,
Olive
no, no, no.
Garden. No.
There's plenty of Italian food that A is not pasta and also isn't covered in cheese and whatever. I like cheese, don't get me wrong, but there's another side to it, supposedly. That like some of the seafood and even at that, like I think it's northern Italy where they do a lot of rustic food like steaks and stuff like that. I think that's correct. I don't know. I'm just going off of things I've read, but
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, their wines and stuff.
oh, of
It
course.
looks fun to go and try, but I don't think I will. It'd be enough for me because I love food, and I think like their food, it's like looks like it's a small portion.
See, that's what I mean. I think you have an American view of it. That's what I suspect. I think if you went over there, it'd be
Nah, I don't
different.
think so. It's just I don't
You're
want to.
thinking of the French.
No, no, not the French. The French, I'm not interested in anything there.
I don't
With
mean
all
any
my due
disrespect
respect,
to France.
but
I don't.
maybe try their sweets and cakes are good.
Hmm. Hmm.
But other than that, I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
and I haven't
Italy,
had a chance to go
interested.
there, so I really should. I'm not passing
British
judgment.
food, I tried it here in the US with my buddies when we go watch games.
Hmm.
First thing in the morning, 7 in the morning, you eat beans with eggs and
I
sauces,
love a full
sausage.
English breakfast. I
Yeah,
do. I
that it's
love that.
it's, it's good. Uh,
I like their pies that they make. There is it Cornish pie,
yeah,
whatever. And I like all the roast beefs that they
we
do
tried
and
Chef
stuff
Ramsay
in
in
Vegas.
Vegas. We did get their
Fish and
fish and chips.
chips. It was okay.
It was okay.
It's I've done that I've been in the
I
UK.
know
It's
it's like a
better over there.
touristy restaurant.
Yeah.
It's not like the actual one that
Yeah, no.
5 stars, but still, it was nah,
Yeah, no. I'd
for an
rather
80 bucks, that was a lot.
oh, see, he's still not gotten over how much that. We're in Vegas in one of those big hotels. Of course, it's going to be 3 times what it probably should actually cost. Meanwhile, what did we do most days? We went across the street to that little stand that made.
The Turkish shawarma
Yeah,
and falafel, yeah, it was
we just have
good.
a way of finding that stuff.
You
I don't
know
know.
what not a restaurant, since we just talked about that. The Halal Brothers,
Oh, I love that
the
place.
one in New York, not the one in Orlando there, but the one in New York. My buddy took me. It was winter, it was so cold, and he was like, just give them a try. They gave us a big ball with rice.
Uh-huh.
The rice had like meats in it, and
Mhm.
then with bread and a sandwich. Oh God, it was so good.
Ugh. You're
It
making me
was
hungry.
so
You gotta
good.
stop. Why are we talking about this?
I don't know because I'm hungry.
Ugh.
We went from Royals and started
I
talking
know you
about
took
food
me
and
down this
countries.
rabbit hole. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, that's what we've been doing with our time and our lives.
I mean, working beside
Yeah,
that,
yeah, that's been kind of a big change for me.
having a new adventure going on, and
We started new businesses, getting our footing with that.
mhm.
And so I really hope we'll get back to not hope, we will be getting back to doing this more regularly. Luke and I are planning on our first new podcast episode, which we have 2 different ideas, and we'll probably just go ahead and record both and decide when we're going to publish them. But we're thinking we're going to do 2 separate episodes on Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain
Hmm.
because it seems as if people always speak of them together, which makes sense, but they're very interesting individually. So we think they both deserve their own episodes. And then that's another thing. I was watching a travel show, and I believe it was in Bulgaria because I watched one on Bulgaria and Romania. And yeah. Oh yeah, no, it was Romania. King Carol of Romania,
Hmm.
interesting guy, was mentioned in the episode, and I was like, oh, I don't really know much about him. So of course I start reading whatever. I told Luke we need to do an episode on this dude. So probably that because we definitely want to branch out. I think we've done a decent job of that, talking about royals other than just
Yeah.
the British or the really well known ones. But that's what we're working on.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I never heard about
Yeah.
Spain. Like, I have zero knowledge of Spain monarchs.
I have a limited knowledge. That's the thing about this podcast is that it's fun, and Luke really doesn't have to do much research. He already knows everything. Like I've said so many times, you just say, Luke, tell me about such and such, and he can tell you off the top of his head most of the time. For me, it's been a learning experience because every time we do an episode, I have to read and look into things extensively to have any idea what I'm talking about, to be
Mm-hmm.
able to have a conversation with Luke. And yeah, the fascinating people and stories that we don't hear about, that aren't really taught, like, in your history class in school. Yeah, there's so much out there that I think probably, not probably, that deserves to be preserved and talked about, and whatever, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all of it. So yeah, Ferdinand and Isabella.
Yeah.
Most people know of that in connection to Columbus and all
Right.
of that,
Yeah.
but there's so, as I'm learning with Luke, there is so much more to them than that.
Yeah, I'm curious to know about. I'm not
Mhm.
that much. Maybe I promise you we can do the Zulu tribe,
Oh,
the
you've been
Shaka
wanting to do
Zulu
that?
one.
Yeah, I'm
I
down for it.
love that story. I watched the show when I was a kid. I think they make not like new, but it's like in 2000 or something, another show or movie, but did not do good. But I've seen the old ones and they
Mhm.
were fun. My dad, him and his friend, I remember when they got them on VHS and they were watching them. It was kind of cool
Mhm.
acting and interesting how one guy made it to rule
Yeah.
almost Africa.
Well, I tell you another one that I want to do is I want to go back to Iraq and I want to do King Faisal the First.
King Faisal the
Interesting guy.
First, yeah. I mean, my great grandpa was involved in a way with the revolution that led him to be the first king of Iraq.
Mhm.
And one of the other stories, China, the last
Oh,
emperor
there's
of
so much
China.
in China. I've been listening to a book. Not really actually. I was
Hmm.
gonna talk about this book, but this episode has gone too long, so it's gonna
Hmm.
be the next one. It has to do with both royal history and Meghan Markle. So
Oh my God,
wrap your.
Meghan
I
Markle
know,
and
I know.
everything.
Seriously, I'll explain it in the next episode. But anyway, um, and there are several stories that have popped up in this book about China that are just amazing, and
Hmm.
I've never heard it before. Nobody, U.S. history, you don't learn you learn
Yeah.
nothing in this country. But anyways, yeah, we should
I mean,
definitely do
I would
China.
love to talk about that. I had someone, I don't know, but through work, and I told them about the podcast, and then they saw me like, hey, we listened to the podcast, kind of interesting. How about like some other stuff you guys talk about, like personal thing you've been through, like personal experience or some
Like our
other,
personal
not
experience?
just ours, like something like, or just like what we're talking about now, just like movies and stuff
Oh,
like
okay.
that, which we kind of talked about movies before,
Yeah,
I
I just
think.
figured like who cares about that stuff? I don't know. We
There's
go
a
off on
lot of
rabbit trails,
people. It's
but
like
hey.
in music, it's like a radio show. We can talk about
Oh
if
my
people
gosh.
want to.
Well, if
Uh,
that's the case and we want to make it even more entertaining, we need to do an
like talk
episode.
about certain books you read that changed you, helped you, or
Oh,
explain
I
more,
could do
or
that. Oh my
something like
gosh.
a book you want to share with people.
Sure,
I
sure.
don't know.
Yeah, the book, I will tell
I
you.
can talk about video games while we talk about books. How about that?
Really? Really?
What you mean, really? Video games is so popular right now.
Okay, so I'm not going to get into it because this episode is already way long.
Yeah.
But next episode, there is a book called The 48 Laws of Power. It's by a man named Robert Greene. And I had finished a book, kind of historical book. It was on, I'm listening like an audiobook. And
Hmm.
this one popped up next. It was like free in the app. And I was in the middle of cleaning. I was like, well, I want to listen to something. So I just started listening to it. It is it's fascinating. I think it was published back in like 98, 97, something like that. And because this guy, he mixes in like stories from history or
Yeah.
gives examples about, different laws of power or how to do this and that. But I'm interested in it for the stories that he tells, the historical stuff that examples that he gives. But there's one in particular, like I said, I'll get into it. It reminded me so much of what's going on with the whole Markle situation, but then lots of other things too, all kinds of other royal stories and whatever. One of them in China.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I think next episode I'll get into that because there's a lot of good. But that's I haven't been reading because I don't have time to actually read a book.
Yeah.
I listen to books fairly often, and that's the one I'm almost done with it.
Mm.
But before that, I think I was listening to. Well, the last two have been recommendations of Luke's. One was the history of the medieval world.
I think we
One
listened to part of it.
was the lives of the kings and queens of
There
England.
was the spy one too. It was a interesting book. You told
Which
me
one?
it's about a spy, like general, or he used to be a CIA spy or something. The
Hmm.
general, you told me about him. How they used to do
I
meetings and
I listened to one, it's been a while back, called The Art of
that one.
Intelligence.
Yep.
Very interesting
Hmm.
by Henry Crumpton. Yeah, I recommend
No.
that book highly. I also have been listening to, well, I finished it, The Craft of Intelligence by Alan W. Dulles, as in the Dulles Airport, as
Oh,
in, he's an interesting
yeah.
person. But the book is interesting. And then,
There's a,
oh, I know another one that I still haven't finished. I don't know why I can't finish it up. It's an old one. It's called The Crowd, a study of the popular mind by Gustave Le Bon.
mhm.
And yeah, I recommend that.
Yeah. The one I've been listening to, and if you like interested in the last era of the Shah of Iran
Hmm.
and how the regime changed from a monarchy to now the Republic of Iran with the Ayatollah Khomeini and Saddam involved at that time. It's a book called The Achilles Trap.
Achilles Trap. Okay.
It's by Steve Cole. It's basically talks about Saddam Hussein, CIA, the origin of the American invasion to Iraq, but it goes back to the time of when Saddam became like in power
Hmm.
and how he was supported by the US, and then Iran happened and how the US supported him more against Iran and all about like the weapons and stuff. And it's all about how those chemical engineers and they got like, tortured and all of that,
Hmm.
and how Saddam fought Khomeini while Iran and Iraq at that time were kind of in peace. I don't think we ever been in peace with Iran because of history and Persians and stuff, but at that time it was different.
Mm. That sounds
So
interesting.
it's an interesting
Yeah.
book. It mentions like how even Rumsfeld, Donald Rumsfeld, if anyone remember him, how he used to go and
Yeah.
give visits to Iraq, and
Hmm.
how Saddam then became, turned all of that. It's a good book. I will highly recommend it if you're interested into that Cold War, 80s
Oh
and
yeah, I love
70s.
that.
It's a good thing.
That'll be next on my list then.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're way over time at this point,
Hmm.
and if we're getting all personal, the truth of the matter is that we're having dinner at my parents tonight, and I'm supposed to bake something, so the clock is ticking.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Well, I guess thank you for listening, and thank you for the new subscribers that came in and they're like, "Where is
Yeah, they
their
subscribed
videos?"
even though we haven't
Like,
posted anything in
they're
a
like,
long
"Where's the
time.
videos? Where's the anything?" So we're back hopefully soon. We just been busy and we needed some break. Um,
But we're
please make
back.
sure to follow us on other social media like
Yeah, we've just kind of taken a
mhm.
break from everything, so I haven't updated our Instagram or whatever. So we'll definitely get back to doing that. Instagram, TikTok, of course, YouTube, Spotify. I think are we on X, formerly known as Twitter?
We
You're
are,
in
but
charge of
I
that one. I don't know.
barely
Yeah.
barely use it because
But the
of
point is, we're back into the swing of things. We'll be updating, and Luke and I should have our podcast episode up. I would say by next week. I'm gonna drag him by his ear or do whatever it is that I have to do, and we'll
Mhm.
get it done.
I think
But
I just hit the mic, so sorry.
oh my goodness, how dare you? Anyway, so yeah, that's it. And like I say, next Teen Shenanigans, I have this whole story and person in history and this theory that has to do with Meghan Markle and her whole, I don't know, her grand plan, let's say, or inspiration for the things that it's just an opinion, but I have kind of I think a unique take on it because I've never heard anyone else express this idea before. But anyway, that's the teaser for the next episode. But in the spirit of wrapping it up and letting you get on with your life, thank you for listening as always, for sticking with us as we go down our
Mhm.
rabbit trails. And we'll talk.
Do
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll talk to you next time.
Mm.